Hello everyone and welcome to the 5th race of the Grand Prix Classics Championship. We are in the 7th season, 5th race as I said, and and we have a scoring table. We'll talk about a scoring table in a little bit. Welcome, so happy to have everyone here. We are at Spa in the country of Belgium, my southern neighbour, and always... well, an interesting track. Racing here in real life often isn't all that, if we're honest. It tends to be, you attempt something at the start, and if that doesn't work, you just increase the gap too much. But in sim racing, as far as I've seen, as far as I've experienced, it's pretty good normally. Not that have never been boring Spa races. I've won one of them, but yeah, hopefully interesting one today. Who are we going to race with? Well, before doing that, I quickly want to show you the calendar. Of course, we have, as you can see, 5th race today. Next week we have the Italian Grand Prix, then a little break. Is that true? No, actually, there's a race immediately after the next week. So, a bit of a triple header that we're looking at the start off. Over halfway of the season after this one's over. Makes it even more important to see, well, where are we? Who are we racing with? What should you look out for if you haven't been following along? In which case, all the VODs are on YouTube. Go watch all of them. Let's see. The driver standings, of course, most important table as far as these people are concerned. And Dikra in the lead, 84 points, 73 to has Randers right behind him. Now, that gap was a lot bigger, if you recall, last week, or last race. Dikra only finished 3rd, Randers won that race. As a result, he is now 2nd. And, something we talked about during the interviews last week, Dikra isn't here today. Dikra is not driving, he is unfortunately not able to show up. So, big opportunity. Randers, can he take the lead of the championship? Well, it's definitely something you will be looking out for. And actually, if you look on the timing sheet on the left, you will see he is actually currently fastest. So, might be a surprising challenge for the championship on this part. We'll talk about that in a bit. We have Domska and Marcus both still in the fight for the championship, but if we're honest, that's probably all the people that's fighting for the championship. The top 4. Gerald and Dustin. Gerald isn't here today either, and Dustin is kind of simply too far away. It would need a string of super strong races and a couple of mistakes from everyone else. Possible, but unlikely if we're honest. Michael doing a very good best of the restaurant again as far as championship points are concerned. They've got Mestos, who I think has shown that he has the pace. Lacking inconsistency. That's exactly the same as some other drivers, and they all got there. So Gomestos, I think we'll see a lot of him. Then have Silver, Cafalor, tied on points. We have Sorrow and JJ. And Sorrow, his name, unfortunately, very applicable to his season so far, because he has been feeling a lot of pain. Yeah, the rest of the drivers you can see here on screen. At least one of them is in the chat. Hello, Das. Happy to see you. Yeah, and we'll quickly move through. We're talking about all the drivers. Of course, we're looking at Randers, who, after today, is most likely to be championship leader. For the reasons I just listed. 73 points, 11 points behind Dikra. If he finishes, I believe, as low as 4th, he overtakes Dikra, which would be pretty good for him. Holding on to that is a different story. We'll talk about it in a bit. But yeah, that will be a very good start for him. I think he will be so happy if that happens. Of course, big competition for other drivers, and no one more than Domska. Of course, Season 5 champion. Had to let Dikra ahead in the season after. Last season, Dikra's the reigning champion, of course. Very quick in these cars. Has looked second best for most of the season so far. But recently, it hasn't quite gone his way. I'm quickly going to peek at the scoring table. As you can see, 5th place in Germany and on the Hockenheimring, after, of course, that ending crash, really has put him on the back foot. 3 points behind Randers. Of course, that is a tiny gap. If you win the race, you guaranteed are ahead of Randers. But it's not what you wanna see. You just want to be on top. And it was his own mistake that made it happen. And then Marcus, of course, 1 of 3 race winners this season. Let's see, do we have him here? We do. I was not sure if he would be here, but he is here. Also has an opportunity to take the lead of the championship. It's a little bit more tricky, because there's other people that can maintain the lead over him without winning the race. So he's going to need a little bit of luck if he wants to be leader after this race. But if he wins this race, look, in the same way that your position only matters at the end of the race, in a championship, your position only matters at the end of the championship, right? Everything else is just... I mean, it's nice to be in the lead for a little bit, but, you know, we want the trophies, we want the championships. That's what we're fighting for. He has every opportunity to do so. If he wins today's race, he will have a very good shot at the championship again, even if his points right now aren't as good as they maybe need to be. 11 points behind Randers, who is 11 points behind Dikra. Do the math, 22 points behind Dikra. Winning the race will be enough to overtake him, not necessarily to be leader in the championship. Another person who's not here today, Gerald Schmidt, Red Bull driver, has been fighting for 4th with his teammate. Oh, sorry, 5th in the championship. So far has done better, but he's not here. We'll look at his teammate then, who is 6th in the championship, right behind him. Will have a good opportunity today. Seems to be 4th best of the grid today. Podium potential. We're gonna see if he can make something happen today. And he is so eager to win a race, for one. But even if it doesn't happen, I think he will be happy to finish on a podium. And with his VR issues, he'll be happy to finish it all without any issues. Specifically with more than 5 frames per second. So, wish Dustin's technology all the best. And, yeah, let's not curse it too much. Michael, a bit of a best of the rest driver. Very strong throughout the seasons. And is showing up again this season. Not quite as good as the best drivers. A little bit behind Dustin. But sometimes he can fight. And he's definitely a bit behind the top 4 in the championship. But very strong. Some people that would fight with him. Let's see, is he here? Yes, Gomestos, of course. Again, as I said, has the pace. Definitely has the pace. If he just gets a bit more consistent, we're looking at a very strong driver. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Show up and do it. I say that's all it takes. It's very difficult to be consistent in F1 cars. Throughout the whole race, where your tires are going, your weight keeps changing. It goes from heavy to light and then heavy again. Specifically, the transition from light to heavy is very abrupt. Very hard to get used to if you don't have experience in that. And, but yeah, the pace is there. Show that you can beat Michael in a race. I think he can do it. I want to see it. Let's see if it happens today. Silver, a lot higher in the list than I thought he would be. In the championship, he's currently 9th. 9th is an alright position in the championship. He's done some very good things this season. Very consistent driving, lacking pace. Opposite of Gomestos. The difference in points? 1. So those two, well, maybe they'll fighting until the end, but if Gomestos is getting more consistent, it's easier than gaining pace. So, in that sense, it's looking good for him. But, that said, he is higher on the list than I thought he would be. He's currently 5th in practice. It's only practice, but it might be good omen. So, let's see. Who else do we have? We have Cavalo, who's currently in the pits. Ferrari driver. His teammate Dikra isn't here, so he's got to get all the points. Currently P10 in the championship. 12 points behind his name, same as Silver. So fighting in that battle down there. then we would have Sorrow, but he's not here. We'll look at JJ instead, who unfortunately we caught on the grass. Bit of a mistake there. JJ, I think, has had a little bit of a mid-season. I think he wanted better, only 5 points behind his name. If he gets a good race, again, that can increase dramatically. So, let's wish him all the best. We have Nota Bene, who is also in the pits. Nota Bene currently has 4 points in the championship, 1 behind JJ. Will absolutely gain more this season. Today's a good opportunity, of course. Some drivers are not available. Which we'll talk about someone who isn't here in a bit. I just realized. He is in chat. Hello. Ditto. Ditto has currently 0 points, right? And I think, I'm fully convinced Ditto will get points this season. Not only that, it's one of those matter of time things. If he cleans it up a little bit, if he has a little bit of luck, absolutely P12 is possible, P11, P10. Sky's the limit. Matter of time. Last race, he fully acknowledged he had an opportunity, but he made a couple of mistakes. Silly mistakes, such as not setting your pit crew to repair your damage, which could have made all the difference because you had to do an extra stop. So, things like that, clean it up. Points are right there. I'm sure he can do it. Okay, Apex. We're looking at Apex, I'm talking about him. We'll talk about him now. Illuminati, 3 points behind his name. I don't know how he feels about that. Not a driver we speak to often, but I feel like he is very much just doing his thing, getting a couple of points here and there, and just, you know, happy to be here. It's one of those things where if you are in a... It has to be that, because you see your Marcus, you see your Domska, you see your Dikra, you see Randers. If you don't have the character of someone who's just there trying to, you know, improve themselves, then you're out. But, you know, he's in. And a lot of people are still here. I think that shows a lot of good character on the grid. I'm very happy to see that. So that's Apex. Then I'm not sure if we have... We've got a few other drivers. Let's talk about one of me. One of me, of course, teammate of Ditto. No points yet. I don't know if we're going to expect them today. There's not many drivers, so opportunity is here. But yeah, just got to drive it. We'll see. Possible. Definitely not impossible. Yeah, you still got to do it. Sorrow is now in the lobby. Put him on my list. Sorrow, P11 in the championship, he's got 8 points behind his name, and he hates every single one of those points. Not because he wants 0, but because he wants more, double that, and nobody's going to argue that he doesn't have the qualities. Look at that, second on the timing sheet. Marcus has set a very strong time there, 150.7, but Sorrow is second fastest, and that's, I think, I'm not sure if he thinks he can fight with the top 4. But on a good track, maybe. Somebody's asking in chat, how do I apply for the next race? Well, there should be, there is not, hang on. We will quickly put a link in the chat. And if you are watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description to join SSR. We're going to pin this so that anyone who wants to join can join. And really all you need to be able to do is drive 30 laps without like destroying other people. You can crash on your own, that's fine. The worst thing that might happen is that it's caught on stream. Otherwise, you know, as long as you're not out here ruining other people's races, completely fine to join. And yeah, if you drive carefully, it's very easy bar to cross. So very happy to have more drivers. Quality optional. Last driver I haven't talked about yet. Right at I in the Lotus team. Lotus team, I think, is the only team without points. Yeah, today's an opportunity to change that. Absolutely possible. Yeah, just gotta have a clean race around Spa with 14 people on the grid as it stands. The R15, but there's one driver who will not be joining the race in there. But we will talk around that person. Okay. Marcus is very fast. Randus has now improved 149.4. Improving by over a second. And that, I think, looks a little bit like quali trim. So, well, Randus is definitely prepared for this race. I can tell by the way he built up this session. He was immediately quite fast. And at the end of the session, he really sets a glory lap. That's someone who is prepared. That's someone you have to be scared of. I think Marcus is trying to do the same now, finishing his glory lap. He might actually not fully finish it, but we'll see what he does. And after the practice finishes, we'll run a short ad, 1 minute, and then we'll go forwards into qualifying. Actually, we'll do a 30-second ad, because I realized between the quali and the race is actually a bigger gap. So, yeah, works out. In fact, we don't even need to run an ad. I've planned very well. We don't need to run an ad. Rejoice. We can all be happy. Marcus pushing. I do see Michael within a second. Very interesting. Dustin now ahead of Marcus as well. Still outside of a second. It's definitely improvable. I do think Dustin is dreading the fact that Michael is ahead of him. That is for sure a little bit annoying. Not because he doesn't like Michael. Oh, Round is disconnected. Oh. Hopefully that's not an actual issue that needs to be addressed. If more people disconnect, I know it's a server issue. But I feel like Randus is just reconnecting for whatever reason. Yeah. Randus fastest, don't let the timing sheet fool you. Then we got Marcus. Yeah, I think Randus is still faster. Then we got Marcus, Michael, Dustin, Sorrow. Sorrow fighting today. Ooh, who knows? Who knows? I really do hope so. He has been so good. Just so unlucky. Oh my goodness. If you've seen Sorrow's season, through despair, he does get the... I don't know what happened there. I'm not going to address that. He has been the most unlucky driver I've ever seen. Beating the likes of Kimi and Alonso. Truly, yeah. Truly pain, suffering, and, well, sorrow. I do see some more people disconnected. I hope that's not a server issue. I hope they just come back just fine. I keep an eye on the Discord chat. Maybe there is reason to restart. We'll see. But now we're following Sorrow. Of course, first person out of the pits is generally the person that I have a look at. The reason is very simple. Clean air ahead of you. And you'll be the first to set a time. And the reason we follow, of course, is to have a look at the track. Because while you might know Spa, you're intimately aware of how Spa drives now, pay close attention. Because very soon there will be a part of it that looks a little different. Actually, there's quite a few differences that might not look significant, but definitely are. So this is definitely a significant difference, and there is some track limits issues here. It's been outlawed by the league, so you can't actually cut there. But there we go. Sorrow through the last few corners, starting his lap, going into Lesueur's hard braking zone. Hard right. You want to have a good exit here, but look at that. There's a wall right there. Nowadays, there's a lot of runoff. You can fight side by side. Here, it's very difficult to do that. Something for the drivers to think of. Of course, Rouge, Gadion. There we go. Up the hill. Nice and flat. And on the Camel Straight. Long straight. Where you lose a lot of your fuel and engine. Hard braking zone. Into, I believe that's Licom. I may have forgotten the cooler names. in the while I was not at Spa. And then here we have Bruxelles, a long sweeping right-hander downhill. Very fun to go racing here. Into No Name Corner, or Speaker's Corner, depending on who you ask. And then into Pouan. Now this is one of the most beautiful corners on the calendar. Sweeping left-hander. I'll be on the edge. Take a wide exit, as wide as you can. And then into the S's. To the right and to the left. Careful with the throttle. You don't want to go full throttle at all there. Want to modulate it. Right-hander and into the last sector. Now this is mostly flat out. Good exit there. And it's essentially a straight line. In the way that F1 draws straight lines, which means there's a lot of curves. This fully flat, no lift on the throttle whatsoever, and then the almost bus stop chicane. It's not quite a bus stop chicane, but there are some track limit issues, but they have been outlawed by the organizers. And there we go. We finish the quali session. Oh, sorry, not a quali session. The qualification of Sorrow. First lap. It's a 150.8. Dustin is faster. Little bit of a difference. What is Randers gonna do, of course? This is the man we're really looking for. And also I noticed that Daniel Gilligan had joined. Very happy to see that. Daniel Gilligan has 3 points by the name. 16th in the championship. And definitely capable of more. He's a bit inconsistent in visiting. And I think also in finishing. So let's see what he can do. Domska, currently the fastest, 149.7, very strong. I did see Randers do a little faster. What is he gonna pull? Through the last sector, flat through Blanchimont. Setting up for the last set of corners. This is actually not even a fast lap. It is a setup lap. So we'll see from him later. Marcus also driving. Is he on the edge? Let's have a quick look. It looks like it, but it can also mean that he is just warming up the tires a bit. Did definitely look like he was pushing a little bit there. Not quite hitting the apexes, but I saw the same following Sorrow. There's a little bit of a thing there. We'll look at how that looks during the race. Dustin in second place behind Domska, who is the only person in the top 4 to have set a time yet. We're waiting for Randers and we're waiting for Marcus, as somebody has spun around. Randers unaffected by it, thankfully. I think it might have been, yeah, Daniel Gilligan back driving again. Marcus is in the last sector, catching some cars that are very much giving him some space. Very nice. Kind of personal space you like to see. Last corner, a little bit of a slide here and there. Oh, and out of that last corner, beautiful drift, nicely caught. I'm not sure it's fast though. Let's see what time it is. A 149.398. Apparently drift is the way to go there. Very nice job from Marcus. And Randers then, the last driver in that coveted top 4. Set a lap. Currently, projected leader of the championship. The current leader of the championship isn't here. Randers is 11 points behind. Will have every opportunity to overtake if he wins the race, which is 25 points. I think second is 20. And then it slows down and decreasing a little bit after that. But, well, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. Randers, 149.4, very close to Marcus. About a tenth between the two. Domska, 3/10 off the pace compared to Randers, 4 to Marcus. Michael, interestingly, ahead of Dustin. Now, Dustin is probably looking to improve. Well, they're all, of course, continuously looking to improve. That is not the revelation. I think Dustin is doing it right now. And he mark my words, he might mention this after the race in the interviews that we will be doing, of course. Stick around for those. I think he might mention during the interviews, yeah, I definitely want to beat Michael for the qualifying and try to stay ahead of him. We have only 14, maybe 15 drivers today, unfortunately. As somebody asked in chat. It's, yeah, it's sometimes a bit of a roll of the dice. Sometimes you get a couple more people, and sometimes you're left with this. Sora now ahead of Dustin as well, P5 for him. The gap is small though if Dustin is at all on an improving lap. Then he will likely move ahead again. But I think for Sora, being close to Dustin is kind of where he wants to be. As we finish his lap, there are some other people to point out, and we will go through that as soon as we see the time. What is Dustin gonna do? 4th place and 150.2. And Domska behind him finishes lap as well. 149.5. Closer, but not past Marcus and Randus. Very important. Now, Sorrow is in P6. I think that's kind of where he wants to be. And then we have Silver. Very nicely done. P7. Very good pace, actually, in qualifying. Gomestos not too far behind. But that is a gap. That is a gap. Now we have JJ, who's a bit behind. And then Honor of Me, unfortunately, doesn't quite have the pace. He is faster than Daniel Gilligan and Ryder Die so far. Notabene and Apex so far haven't set a lap. I think Cafalo has... Oh, okay. Cafalo has said in the chat that his left brake pedal is not working. And of course, that is your only brake pedal. So, yeah, it's not like Mario Kart where you can get around without hitting the brakes. You do actually really need to brake. So, unfortunately, no point for Ferrari today. Hopefully, be able to fix that in a week. And then we'll have him next week. Marcus currently fastest Randers than Domska. The 3 top 4 drivers that are in this race showing up exactly where they need to be. Job well done from all 3 of them, and they're very close in pace at least. Hopefully the setups, I hope that they're all the same on wings. That's all I'm saying. They're all exactly the same on wings, because if they're not, the race might become much more boring than these times are promising. I notice Michael is super close to Dustin. That gap is virtually non-existent. Sorrow a little bit behind that. I have Silver, Gomestos still where they were. Haven't set a time, an improved time yet. Now we're nearing the end of qualifying again. We're nearing the end of qualifying, despite the fact that it says 4 minutes. The problem is, if you drive out with 2 minutes to go, you do need to rush, because this lap is just, well, it's a long lap. And Marcus actually thinks, you know what? Randers has improved, got very close, but not past. So close. Marcus thinks, maybe there was a lap and didn't improve. He's now setting up for his final lap. Once he crosses that line, it'll be his last lap that he can do. Randers has just started what is probably his last lap, unless he aborts, which is still very much a possibility for him. Michael in the pits, he's probably got one more shot at him as well. Domska is currently, I'm fairly certain, trying to set a lap, and that might also be the last lap that he gets. That's the one thing about Spa qualifying, depending on when people drive out and do their laps, it might be over very quickly. I also noticed Michael P4 currently ahead of Dustin. As much as I want to see what Domska does, and we'll see that in a bit. Dustin is also setting up for one last lap. He's got one more opportunity to try and beat Michael, which I'm sure is his goal. Michael's pace has really improved in these cars. So hopefully, I have a good time today. Domska going across the line. He will have one more opportunity. Oh, and there he goes on the top of the timing sheet. Marcus is within 700s. Randers is within 700s. These three have never been this close before. Domska's got one more opportunity to try and improve even further. Marcus and Randers, well, they're not going back into the pits. They will cross the line. Marcus will first cross the line for his last opportunity to try and beat Domska. And this race is so important for these three. As well as, of course, your position after qualifying. You want to be in front. You want to be able to exit Rouge Radion ahead. And I just said two things that might be a bit contradictory because being on pole position is not necessarily an advantage here. You really want to use the slipstream. It is pretty strong in this game. So maybe you settle for second or third. I don't know. Marcus currently, though, I think he's still fighting pole position. Everybody just wants it. But there's no point, of course, to earn in qualifying. So, is this self-sabotage? I don't know. Oh, that's a big moment there, but nicely caught from Marcus. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Not as much as it could, because it was in between two relatively slow corners. And these corners you kind of have to live for, so everybody in the pits now will not improve. It's Silver behind JJ. Silver ahead of JJ, ahead of Mestos, ahead of Nota Bene. They will stay where they are. Marcus trying to improve. Now this lap has looked a little bit scrappy on your screen. A couple of moments here and there. But you can tell he is really pushing this car. The fact that he is pushing this car, well, maybe it is enough. Maybe it is enough to squeeze a bit of extra pace as he goes into the final chicane. I don't know how his tires are doing, but he would have the opportunity to maybe do one extra lap. On the edge, there's not an improvement. I think that's Marcus in second place. No better. Where is Randers gonna be? And it's currently in a third. Small gap to the guys ahead. Crosses the line. Improves by a monstrous amount. 149.1 is now the time to beat. And Marcus is not improving, but Domska might. Randers currently, well, where he stands, he's got very good papers for the championship if he manages to finish in first place today. As things stand exactly, essentially. Of course, after this race, Dikra will be reintroduced as a factor. He will be fast and he will be fighting no matter what. As it stands though, Randers on pole position. Domska one opportunity to change that. And I think Sorrow is, yeah, using the slipstream as much as he can. He's got Dustin to try to overtake. Dustin is currently still driving as well in the last sector. He's of course trying to overtake Michael, who just crossed the line. Small improvement for him. Fourth place for him would be such a good time. Dustin is, of course, a very strong driver. Very quick in most cars. This car not quite, but he's still quick. Is he quick enough? No, it's not an improvement for Dustin. It's going to be Michael ahead. And Domska is not improving. That is a pole position for Randers. Actually, a lot of things stand exactly as the championship position, which is very funny. Okay, we're quickly going to run an ad, and then I'll be right back. As I try to figure out exactly where is everyone. Do I have everything set up correctly? JJ did overtake Omessos in the late stages of the qualifying session. Very nice job from him. What else do we have? We have Apex ahead of Gilligan, who overtook one of me. And Ride or Die actually got 11th place. Okay. Very nice job. 2-minute break. I'm quickly going to take a sip of water. And so should you if you have a dry throat. So we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We are not quite ready to go to the grid, but I do want to point out something. Randers, as you can see, was much faster than Domska in Sector 1. Marcus, faster than Domska. Domska was slowest of the three. But notably, Sorrow was extremely quick in Sector 1. And I think that's purely because of a big slipstream that he had, gaining him actually 4th place, which I kind of missed. But here he is, 4th place for Sorrow. Very well done from him, and we'll very, very quickly go through the starting grid. Here it is, and a better view for myself. We got Randers, pole position for Randers. Probably championship lead after this race. We'll see how he goes. Domska in 2nd, Marcus in 3rd. Honestly, kind of good positions to be in. Then we have Sorrow. We have Sorrow, of course, a very good job to be in 4th. Michael ahead of Dustin. Dustin will not be happy with that. Then we have Silver. Very good job from Silver. JJ, Gomestos, Nota Bene, Ride or Die, Apex, as both Monali's in the top 12. Then we have Daniel Gilligan and Honor for me. I think Daniel will be a little bit disappointed, but I also don't think he's practiced much. So that is the whole grid for you. It's fairly small grid. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, not too many incidents. The last 2 races have been relatively clean. If you ignore a couple of incidents, but, you know, they weren't reported. There were no penalties. So, everybody happy, apparently. I think it's also that most drivers here do not like to decide things in the steward's room. Just like to decide things on track. Very understandable. Quickly check a couple of things. A little bit of a track map. Looks like Spa. Don't like to have it on. Takes up a bit too much of the screen, I think. I already don't like that the overlays are on the top, so that is what it is. Here we go. You can hear the lights. You can't see them. And they are off. Randers has a fairly acceptable start. Behind him, there's some things going on. Namely, Marcus bogging down immensely. And Sorrow actually goes up into P3. There was some incident with one of the Menardi's. I think that Apex. Hopefully not too much issues for him. Sorrow in P3. Marcus following him with a bit of a distance. And you can see that the Dozier affects him greatly. The top 3, though, very close to each other. Sorrow sees an opportunity, I think, to take the lead here. Randers in the lead, boxing him in, though. And Domska also not allowing him to really overtake. Oh, it is a big mistake for Randers. He goes onto the grass. And that is an opportunity for Domska. He doesn't take it. And it actually gives Sorrow an opportunity. On the inside of Bruxelles, that is a very tricky move to pull off. The outside does have a bit of grip. And then the inside, that turns for this corner. And it is exactly as it was. But only, well, Marcus actually losing quite a couple of positions. Fortunately, all the way down to P6. Sorrow in P3, Michael in 4th, Dustin in 5th. Behind, we'll also notice Nota Bene all the way from 10th to 7th after the start. We'll be very satisfied with that. Silver dropping 2 spots. Just like JJ. Michael still ahead of us as there is a bit of an incident. Oh, there's a couple of things going on here. I think, yeah, Daniel has moved up a little bit. Silver is down a little bit. Otherwise, nothing too crazy. Gomez has lost a lot of places. Is a painful one. I don't think we have anything too major. A couple of wall hugs. Hopefully not too much damage. If the word pit appears behind anyone, and we know there was actually quite a bit of damage. So hopefully that's not the case. Then we enter lap 2, sector 1 again. This is often where overtaking opportunities present themselves. If we look on board of Sorrow, you can see he was quite far behind, but he's already closing the gap. He's closing it rapidly. Where's he gonna go? He's actually sorting on the inside there, moving past Domska. There's actually nothing Domska can do to defend. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Pants on fire. Domska actually defends. It's like the last lap of Hockenheim all over again. You think something is impossible, and they prove you wrong almost immediately. Marcus is losing a couple of positions ahead of his teammate. I'll not be happy with that. Dustin in P4 though, and he's actually caught up to Sorrow, and somebody has left the race. Let's quickly check. It is... Let me see. It's not Sorrow, thankfully. It's not my Dustin. It is not Michael. I have to look. Whoever it is, I promise we miss you. We don't know. It's Apex. It's Apex, unfortunately. Had to DNF. And we do miss you dearly. It just took us a moment to notice you were gone. I'm joking. I know it's immediately that someone was gone. Proving that having 14 children is simply too many. Okay. Domska, very close for the chicane. Unfortunately for the chicane, because of the way the approach is, it's very hard to actually make an overtake. And I don't know. I don't think Domska wants to make an overtake there. I think he is very much kind of saving his tires a little bit. Or he was trying to. Sorrow kind of ruining that for him because he did force Domska to fight. And I think Dustin is smart enough to understand that we're not actually going to fight Sorrow if Sorrow has the pace to catch up, which I think Sorrow definitely does. Domska close to Randers. This is a very small gap at the start of the Kemmel Straight. Will be much, much smaller by the end of it. But remember what I said after qualifying. We looked at the Sector 1 times. As Sorrow does concede a position to Dustin. Is it temporary? No, it is not. Dustin is simply ahead. We noticed Domska's time in Sector 1 was quite substantially slower. I think Domska has messed up the setup. I think his wings are simply too high. And unfortunately, for the most part, you can't really change that. He kind of has to deal with that. I will also say they can also just choose to be peaceful. That is also a possibility. Because they didn't fight and Dustin and Sorrow did fight, the gap is now 2 seconds. I think they'll both be happy with that fact. There's very much a handful of duels going on. You have one here between both of the Red Bull drivers. Michael and Marcus. You have one here between Sorrow and Dustin for the Tyrrell team and the Benetton team. Because Domska and Randers are essentially fighting for the lead of the championship. And if we're looking at who has the better cards, I think we have to accept that Randers probably has the better setup for race trim. Because the fact is, the slipstream is very strong, but if you have lower downforce, there comes a time where the driver that's behind you needs to pull aside of you, and he's just going to get a face full of air that is going to slow him down much more than the air slows you down. Domska is also, don't get me wrong, completely intentionally not overtaking. He is trying to build a gap to Sorrow and Dustin, who... Yep, swap places again. Sorrow ahead of Dustin. But there comes a point where he needs to overtake it. At that point, Brandon's tires are still good. If his fuel weight is comparable, he's got much better cards to defend. Marcus has now overtaken Michael and will be looking forwards These two are smart, they do not fight. Let's see what they are actually going to do. Notabene is in P7. Very impressive job from him. Started 10th, move up 3 positions, and just kind of stay there until the end of the race. You got yourself a bunch of points. Currently 4 in the championship. Will be more than doubled if you finish 7th. Cabezas in P8, recovering a little bit after what was a fairly painful start. Onofmi in P9, started essentially last. Very nice job from me. I think he started straight up last. Then we got Daniel Gilligan, who started second to last, now in 10th place. That's 3 points behind his name, if I'm correct. Then we have Ryder Die in P11, which is actually kind of where he started. Then we got Silver. Definitely lost a lot of places. JJ currently in last place. No points for him as things stand. Now Dustin is ahead of Sorrow. These two are like a quantum object where you don't observe them. They stick where they are. When you stop observing, when you observe them, they stick where they are. And when you don't observe them, it could be anything. It could be anything. Well, we're catching it live now. Sorrow overtaking, and there's not a lot of complaining from Dustin. He's kind of letting it happen. You would hope that this slipstream racing is getting them closer, but actually, I think they're losing about a second a lap, which is crazy. Domska and Randers are just running away with this. Sorry, and Dustin aren't really getting away with this because Marcus is on their tail right now, and Michael isn't far behind. If Marcus starts fighting, Michael will be there. Dustin is also looking. It turns out that Sorrow and Dustin, for race pace, they're actually not as fast as they need to be. That gap is growing massively, and Marcus, he's definitely a bit frustrated with this, I think. What was supposed to be a fight for him to try and get himself back into the championship, but the gap seemed a little too big. And now he's struggling to maybe get 3rd place. Sorrow is not going to give this up. He finally has a race. He finally doesn't get taken out in the first few turns. His bad luck has taken a break so far. As Dustin tries to move. He doesn't actually try to move at all. Smart man. It's not really possible there because of the way the turn works. Marcus will be trying a double overtake. Prediction. Michael, if he's smart, he tries to go with the double overtake, doesn't try to make it a triple overtake. I would find that a little unwise. But you see the slipstream that Dustin has on Sorrow is so strong. Marcus also taking the slipstream. They're all getting very close together. From Mike's perspective, you're seeing Marcus looking around the outside, but it gets blocked off. And that's completely fine. Dustin not able to make a move on Sorrow. Dustin keeps looking, but there is simply nothing there. Marcus, well, Marcus might feel targeted here. So it's like, oh, I'm being blocked a little bit. Is he gonna make a move in Puon? No. Nobody makes a move in Puon if they know what's good for them. It is very, very dangerous. But he was looking, he was threatening it. And Dustin, this is a move you can make. Very much so. As I think Marcus makes a bit of a mistake and Michael goes through. That's 2 overtakes in that corner. On the same lap. Beautiful. Very well coordinated. Well done, boys. This is essentially a DRS train without DRS, in the sense that there are actually overtakes. It's kind of a little bit like current F1, a little bit exciting. Overtakes back and forth. We never quite know what's gonna happen. And it's with cars that have none of the crazy things that the modern ones have. Sorrow is going to have to use the slipstream from Dustin to try and get close again. I think his low downforce. Look at how fast he is in the slipstream. Sorrow just blasts past. And Dustin is actually just not going to be able to defend. Marcus was too far away to try and benefit. Oh, that's a big mistake from Dustin. Oh. He has to take an escape road. Rejoin safely, and that's Marcus through as well. Sorry, Michael. Marcus is behind. Now Dustin's really done it, I think. They're really frustrated with that. Hopefully that's not a VR issue. They're behind Michael now, and it's a dreaded sight to him. Sorrow currently on a podium, let's not forget. Michael fighting for a podium, Dustin fighting for a podium, and Marcus, it should have been his. But that gap is increasing. What's going on with Marcus? And now I think might start to see a benefit that Sorrow has with his setup. The low downforce doesn't mean that the oh, it is there's contact. No, well, there is contact, yes, but it's because Sorrow is going into the pits. Michael and Marcus keep going. Dustin also into the pits. Now that is a bit of strategy here. That likely signals it's going to be a two-stop. Soft is what I'm thinking. Of course, 3 times 8 is 24. You would be 1 lap short. It's going to extend one stint just for the next stint. Let's see what's strategically possible. I think that's also why Sorrow went in. Just not to have to fight with these people. Also believe that Marcus is slower. Definitely helps. I think contact with Michael was a bit unfortunate, but hopefully nobody's any damage. Oh, excuse me. And then Donska and Randers are still following each other. They're just chilling. They see in the corner of their screen a 7.8 as the gap to Marcus. And they're just smiling in the cockpits. They're like, okay, we'll just fight this out at the end. There's no need to duel now. If one of them decides to pit, there will be a bit of strategical duel to worry about. Oh, and Sorrow is ahead of Dustin. That is quite important. And the gap is more substantial than Dustin would have wanted, I'm sure. Alright, they still are... Oh, actually, no, Dustin's... Domsky's going into the pits. I thought they would, you know, stay where they are, but the camera kind of blocks it. Domsky going into the pits. Randers on his own in the lead. And now I'm curious, how long is he going to keep driving? Because if he keeps driving for a little bit, it gives... Well, he's got better fuel load. His car's much lighter now. Michael in P2... also keeps going. Marcus also keeps going. Marcus doesn't seem to have the pace. Does he have damage? I don't know. Hard to say. Domska comes out in P4. Not threatened whatsoever by anyone around him. But now I'm curious. It was about... I don't know. He's losing also a lot of time on this straight, right? Because he doesn't have as good of an exit out of La Source. Well, he doesn't exit La Source. Got much slower speed. Doesn't have any slipstream right now. Oh, that might be a problem for him. But I also note he's much faster in Sector 2. He has to be. You do see that gap slowly decreasing in Sector 2. I do believe when Randers comes out of the pits, he will be ahead. The question is, can he stay ahead? Randers, are you actually going to pit? Or are you satisfied with the way your tires are? Are you secretly on hards and making this work? Or are you on softs and making them work better than anyone else? Great questions to ask him after the race. So he goes through here. Let's see, he does a line for the pit straight, and now it's gonna be interesting. Randers going to stop, change his tires. Michael doing the same. Marcus not doing the same. Marcus going to take the lead of the race. I think we know why his pace was worse, because I believe Marcus is on a different strategy. Marcus might be on hards. I think he's going a lot longer. Domska, well, he already pitted, of course. But where's Randers? Randers is coming out ahead. That's expected. Domska is going to have a better exit. But because he exited later than Randers did, he's always going to be slower no matter what. Randers is ahead. Virtual leader of the race. But Marcus is probably going to do a stop less. And that is a problem. That is a fairly strong problem. We do see the undercut again doesn't work. Not in these cars, not with the fuel weight as strong as it is. And of course Domska being behind Randers does give you slipstream, does give you the ability to stay close a lot better. If you abandon the slipstream, well, the gaps can grow quite rapidly, unfortunately. That said, there's every opportunity that Domska, of course, has a better stint and gets close again. And when he does, well, it will essentially be a reset. Big problem he has now is that Randers' tires are better. Substantially better. Randers can stop later again later. He will have a better opportunity. What Domska kind of needs to do, and this is problematic, Domska needs to get past the drive away. That's kind of what he needs to do. He should have better tires now, or like, no, sorry, not better tires. He should have better fuel load, maybe, if he's lucky. If he doesn't have better fuel load, getting close is enough. If he does have better fuel load, he needs to make the most of it. Light car should be faster. There's more strategical importance here. As I do see Sorrow following a Dustin, being followed by Michael. These three very close to each other. Only Marcus not in this fight where he formerly was. And it's so interesting. I don't think he's losing that much time to Randers and Domska. I thought Marcus was having a bad race. I might have to correct myself. He might be having a very, very good race. If he can stay ahead of Randers, because Randers need to overtake him, essentially. And I do see a retirement. Oh, somebody's had a big crash. I think somebody has had a big crash. It's thankfully none of the top three. Michael, Dustin, and Sorrow are still there. Thankfully he's not Sorrow. I would have cried. We still got... we don't have Silver anymore. Ah, Silver has retired. That does mean that everybody on this list now will score points. Not sure what happened to Silver. He might be in the chat in a moment to tell us all. Unfortunately, we don't have him in the race anymore. The gaps are starting to grow a little bit. Or of me getting close to Gilligan. It's close, one of the closer gaps that we have right now. We also have Sorrow catching to Michael, and now we see Marcus in the pits. Now that is a little earlier than I expected. I expect a lap more. There might be a reason Marcus is going a lap earlier than maybe he should. I say maybe, and it might just be because he has slightly lower fuel load, just to have a good start. That would mean that he needs to refuel for a little longer, that he's in the pits for longer. But he is now ahead of Michael. Oh, and that's big. Because I have to assume, I'm not certain, but I have to assume that Marcus is going to the end of the race. He's not going to stop anymore. I have to assume that. Because if that's not the case, he's got a problem. If he has to stop again, that's P3 at best. Alternatively, he actually does stop again, but he is extremely quick because he's got soft sound, very low fuel load, and he's gonna drive the absolute devil out of these tires. But I'm much more entertained by the idea that he's now on hards with a full tank of fuel, trying to make it to the end of the race, potentially winning it. That's very much a potentially winning strategy. Well, almost halfway through the race, he's only 6 seconds behind Randers. It would need to be 10 for Randers to essentially have a good position to win over a 1-stop. Provided he and Domska are on a 2-stop. Michael very close to Sorrow. These two, hopefully they're having a good battle here, but also a good battle here. On with me close to Gilligan, who is closing into Dustin. Dustin must have made quite a big mistake to be down here. Or he stopped again, which I don't think would be planned. Call that a mistake anyway. These two, well... This is an exciting race, these two. Those are very exciting drivers. Very motivated. Sorrow is, for sure. Michael, he might not show it, but he's also very motivated. Very competitive. Nice and aggressive driver. Aggressive but clean. Actually, Silver in the chat unfortunately had to retire. Hopefully we hear from him what the issue was. Michael in the slipstream, closing in. Looking around the outside. Is that really where you want to be? It's later on the brakes. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. Ah, that is what it is. That's just racing. Took an opportunity. Didn't get the result he wanted. He could try again soon. With me very close to Gilligan. In the slipstream, but no move to be made here. Simply too far away. Apparently, Silver lost his tire without crash. Okay. I don't think that's the explanation I was hoping for, but good to know. What does that mean? Oh, and Dustin has retired. I think we're looking at a retirement from Dustin. Ooh, that is bad. I don't know what happened to him. I think it's his VR headset playing up. I think that's why he retired. Probably a safety retirement for the rest of the field. Trying not to get in the way. That's why I'm assuming. We can't be sure. Maybe he will pop in chat as well and inform us all. One of me losing touch to Gilligan, who seems to be holding on to that position. Sorrow has now conceded the position to Michael. But mark my words, that's going to change before Le Grand. Actually, Michael has a really good exit. Hang on. He might defend. Let's see. Sorrow, so quick in this sector. He's got his downforce to absolute zero, it seems. And look at how good of an uphill he has. That's the real secret here. Michael, very annoying, but yeah, that's just how you drive. That's completely fine. On the inside, Sorrow is... And he goes past again. There you go, as predicted. Doing a very solid job. Marcus now matching pace with the leaders. Randers to Domska to Marcus is a stable set of gaps. If you look at the timings, 51.0, 51.2, 50.8. Actually, if anything, Marcus is getting a little closer. But the gaps are so small. Not really worth mentioning, almost. Still do it because it's my job. I don't know if we just went in the pits, currently in P9. And that will be his last stop, most likely, going to the end. Curious to see what Marcus is gonna do. Is Marcus also going to stop with the leaders? Or, and I think this is interesting, if Marcus has an overcut, if Marcus stops later, I think he has an advantage over Randers and Domska in terms of pace. It's going to be enough. Is it going to be enough? That's the big question. Oh, as Michael tries to make a move that I don't think is possible, but he tried it. He's very close to Sorrow. Sorrow, who is so strong on this straight, the camel straight, and is so strong uphill. Let's have a look. Michael is looking, trying to take the shortest route. Sorrow is just breaking the slipstream. See how much Sorrow gained last lap. Michael isn't gaining that much. Even on the straight. He's catching. But passing, oh, it's gonna have to be late on the brakes, and Sorrow makes his car much wider than it really is. Very nice defending. Oh, and Michael makes a mistake. He goes on the curb. And that is him shaken off. Gomestos is too far away to really take advantage of that, but that does mean Michael in P5, likely where he will finish. Looking at the gaps, and as you can catch Sorrow, who now has about 5 seconds to Michael. That was a very costly mistake. A part of racing, unfortunately. Daniel Gilligan has been moving forwards, moving up. Now catching up to Nota Bene. After the Gomestos after that is a little bigger. I don't know where they are strategically. Daniel could... Oh, he makes a mistake through the grass. That looks like a cut, but it's not faster, trust me. And the tires will be a little dirty, so... Not ideal. A little bit of lag. A little bit of lag. That's okay. Oh, no, that's not real. No, that's not real. He's lagging quite a lot. I don't think anybody else has that issue. And there we go. Sorrow is in the pits. Ooh, that's interesting. That's definitely for his last stop. Curious to see what he will do. He's trying for... Well, I guess that's an undercut attempt. But we have seen undercuts have really worked. We have a dejected Dustin in chat, unfortunately. Race that really didn't go his way. Apparently had a bunch of damage that wouldn't get fixed. It's always... Honestly, one of the most painful things in this game. By default, it is set to off, and that's kind of where you want it. So if you have it set to on, it's going to repair every time. Because your engine degrades over time. It's going to try and repair that. It costs you a lot of time. So by default, you want it off. You want to turn it off where you have damage and make sure it's set to the right sections that you want repaired. But there was some incidents with Sorrow. I'm sure they will look at that in the sewage room. For what we saw, it did look kind of clean. Accusations of blocking. I will say blocking accusations are very hard to take at face value. Because the difference between a block and a defense is sometimes so small. Just quickly checking it. Randa's starting his 17th lap. 3 tenths to Domska. Sorry, 3 seconds to Domska, 3 seconds. 2 seconds to Marcus, roughly. 2.5. Now, if the theory is correct that Marcus is going to the end of the race, he is doing a super impressive stint. Like a crazy impressive stint. If the theory is correct that he is going for an overcut at the end of this stint, then it's, I mean, 5, 6 seconds? That's a big gap to try and make up. I get close to Domska, but Randers would have to make a mistake. Randers really trying to secure that lead in the championship that he is going to inherit when this race is over, if it stays like it is. There you go. Randers goes into the pits. First to blink. What is Domska gonna do? Into the pits. What is Marcus gonna do? He's not going into the pits. Marcus is going to be in the lead of this race. And if he has the fuel, I would so encourage him to stay there. Stay out. Find peace on the track. But I'm not sure. His pace was, I think, a little too strong for it to be a one-stop for him. But he is currently starting an overcut. And that is actually quite important. Randers and Domska coming out, I think, closer together than they were on entry. Although that might change a little bit after the Camel Straight. I do feel like Domska's gained a little bit. Maybe even a second. It's not a little bit, it's quite substantial. Behind them is Michael, teammate of Marcus. And Michael will be thrilled, I think, to take P4 here today. Currently ahead of Sorrow, but I do think he has to stop. And Sorrow, I think, has gained a little bit since. Let's have a look at the timings. No, Sorrow is actually slower. Of course, overcut is the way to go. Undercut is a big no. Because on his 18th lap, currently leader of this race. And the whole question is really, are we looking at a man that is about to secure a very nice strategical win? No, we are not. We're looking at a man who may have made a bit of a mistake strategically, or bailed out of what could have been a one-stop. Back into the pits he goes. Randers in P2, passing him. Marcus, where are you? Marcus is moving. Oh, nice backflip from the man with the lollipop. Oh, there's Marcus. There's Marcus, and he's going to chase Randers. He's actually quite close, and that connects these three drivers. That is actually a very happy accident for Domska. Yes, you lose the position, but you gain slipstream. And Marcus, well, I don't know if he has the pace to keep up for the rest of the race. At the start, he certainly didn't. Randers seems to be very strong in that straight. And Domska's not really gaining in Sector 1. But that's fine. He's going to gain in Sector 2. I don't know where Marcus is going to gain. That's maybe a tough one. Randers was absolutely fastest of the three in Sector 1. Suggesting he has the lowest downforce, suggesting he stands to lose the most in Sector 2. Also means that Marcus and Domska stand to gain the most of the slipstream. But also say that the difference between Randers and Marcus in that aspect wasn't that big. But between Randers and Domska, it was pretty big. So if we're looking at downforce numbers, you would look at Randers 3, Marcus 4, Domska 6. Kind of. In extremely rough terms. But we'll see. Marcus is not really keeping touch right now. And Domska is also not keeping touch. It's looking like Marcus might get a second place. And Randers is going to win 2 races in a row. Maybe the first time he's done that. I think that is the first time he has done that in the Grand Prix Classics Championship. Another fight going on. JJ catching up to one of me. Oh, and JJ misses the corner, unfortunately. Will lose time. You can see how much time that actually loses. Looks like a fight is now potential for a fight, let's say. A little bit of regaining left to do. Don't forget to hydrate because... oh, look at that. Hang on. Hey, it seems like Marcus actually does have the pace. He's been hiding it very well. He opens his sleeve, and out comes an ace. He's got a little bit of extra pace. Out comes a pace. Hey. Okay. Marcus is getting closer. Randus definitely has lower downforce. I think that's fairly clear. Because Marcus is gaining in Sector 2. It's not normally a thing you do. Oh, it takes a lot of grass though. That's not fast. That's not actually fast. But he does have a slipstream right now. And I think with lower downforce, he's actually just going to gain anyway. He's going to get closer. And it's looking like a 2-horse race between these two. And, oh, you know why that's exciting? It's because of this man, who definitely does not have the pace right now. If these two start fighting, we've seen it before. If these two start fighting, there's every opportunity for Domska to come back into this fight. Every opportunity. Randus and Marcus both definitely want this win. Randus wants to be leader in the championship, absolutely. And he wants to have as many points as he can, try and defend it from Dikra, who will be returning after this race. He's not here today, and he will lose that lead. It look like it's against Randus, who will be leader, even if Marcus finishes the race at first, of course. But the biggest risk that these two are taking is if they race too hard, Domska is going to come back into this fight, although Domska does it really slow. Loses so much time. If Domska does come back into this race, he could come away with leading this championship. It might be smart for Randus to think, look, even if I finish second, I will be leader in the championship. Although Marcus is a threat. Marcus is absolutely a threat. If he wins this race, he will be ahead of Dikra as well. And he will be fully fighting. And we know Marcus has the pace. He's finally won a race. And even the race he hasn't won, he's been strong. In fact, the race he did win. Let's not talk about it. It was a bit of a thing. But also the race he did win, he was fighting Randus. This is essentially a bit of a rematch for them. On the inside then, it's defended by Randus. It's not really the inside, it becomes the outside. What's going on there? Randus is cutting that corner. I think he has to give that up. He understands he has to give that up. And that actually is the lead for Marcus because of a mistake from Randus. And Randus, I think, has maybe been a bit too generous there. There's got to be a bit of a bigger gap than maybe he'd hoped. He's gonna have an opportunity to try and come back. The slipstream is quite strong. His downforce is quite low. If you can go up this hill very well, and he does, look, that gap is closing. These two are not separated. These two are very much still in the fight, and Domska's gained like a second last lap. This is a 2-horse race with a bull on the shafts behind. Well, technically, it's these two pulling each other down. Domska really doesn't have the pace, if we're honest. He's got to feel like it was a stolen victory if he does make it. One of me. Close to JJ as well. We give these two a little bit of time in the sun, although Randus is so close. Once that goes below half a second, I'm absolutely clicking. Now these drivers do show up. They're not fighting for leads. I do say that. Look who we're looking at anyway. It's Marcus and Randus right behind. They're being led by Anufmi, who was catching JJ, but you know what? These two leaders in the race, they've worked very hard as well. Anufmi and JJ showing up, we very much appreciate, and I do really like to show them off. And they do have a bit of a battle going on. But this championship is so exciting. We have 4 people that can win it. And if it finishes like it does today, they're all very much in this fight. Domska seems to be losing touch a little bit, in fact. And I do think we have another retirement. I'm going to have to figure out, I think it's Daniel Gilligan, unfortunately, does not make it to the end of this race. He scores only 2 points. Domska's in the pits again. Yeah, I think Domska is just trying to go for fastest lap at this point. He wants to recover a point. But, miscalculation? Hello? Miscalculation. Also, Randers is close. He does quite have the pace. Marcus is faster. I wonder what's going on there. Domska's actually behind Michael. Oops. That's a miscalculation. Quite a miscalculation, I would say. Either that or he has damage and was trying to fix it. It might be that, to be fair. I think some people are having damage from the curbs. I think it might be what happened to Silver earlier. And it kept slowing the car down drastically. Domska didn't have the pace. It's still not looking like it. Still not fast enough. Randers and Marcus are absolutely flying. Chasing each other down. Fastest lap currently, just double checking. It's one of the top two for sure. The only two drivers that have set a 150 in the race. Marcus is absolutely flying this stint. I don't know what incredible pace he has unlocked. He has been hiding it so well. At the start of the race, it looked like it was just not going to be his day. But a different strategy that, I will be honest, I fully doubt it. I didn't think that was the right call, but it looks like maybe it was. Marcus in the lead of the race. Randers is close and will have opportunity to fight back, but he's running out of time. Lap 24 out of 25. This is the second to last time they will go up Au Rouge Radion. They will go down the Camel Straight, and Randers will be close at the end, but he needs to get past in one of two opportunities, preferably next lap, honestly. He is going to let this one go. But he's right there. You can see. I'm not sure he's going to be happy with his second place right now. Because for a long time it did very much feel like Randers' race to lose. It would be so sour to actually lose it. So bitter. As things stand right now, I do want to reiterate, Randers will be the leader in the championship. That is still true. He will get 20 points. Marcus will get 25. Marcus needs 11 to overtake Randers. He will have a 5-point gap closed on his 11-point gap. 6 points behind Randers is absolutely something he can make up in 3 races. Oh, and no, okay, this was sorry, that was still the case. Domska, of course, still behind Michael, but it does seem like he's closing in. And now it's Randers' final opportunity as we enter the final lap of this race. Marcus, with an upset in strategy, what looked like, honestly, a massive mistake at the start, losing so much time, going for 2-stop anyway. But the pace was incredible on the softs. And he has put himself into a position to win this race. But Randers is closer than he was last lap. And he still has that slipstream onto the Camel Straight. It's such a long straight. Overtaking here. It is commonly done. But Marcus is covering the inside. Randers moving to the outside. He gets covered by Marcus. Completely legal. Moving back to the racing line. Randers is going to try for another move somewhere. He's going to have to. Marcus seems to be winning this race. He is parried what seems to be the only opportunity on this track, but there are more. There are more. Where you want them, where you want to find them, there are more to find. And we've seen it before. Pouhon is absolutely not one, especially not from this far back. But if you can get a good run through Pouhon and you can get close to the car ahead, you can try something in the S's. It does not seem to be in the cards for Randers. For the S's, if you get a good run, you can get close. You can maybe go for a daring move at the end of the race, but it's not to be. Half a second the gap is now, and it seems to be growing. Marcus, such a good run through these last few corners, such a good run this whole race. He has been so strong today. He has been so strong this season, and while it looked like he would not be fighting for the championship anymore, a bit of luck with Decra not being here. A very strong race here at Spa. Puts Marcus back into the championship. As he goes on and wins the race. It's Marcus in P1. Randers is your new championship leader with a second place finish. And it is Michael. Michael onto the podium. Although Domska is very close. Hang on. No, I say that. Domska is very close. Domska goes for a move. Oh! Domska. What is this with these last lap desperate moves? That was a very desperate one, but he does let Michael go. Very good sportsmanship. Michael will take P3. Domska will take P4. And that is the way the podium looks. We got Sorrow with P5, which honestly is a relief for him. It's been so much bad luck. You see him move side to side a little bit. That is a very, very excited Sorrow, who finally puts a spell of bad luck behind him. With a good result. Gomesto's not is still driving. Honor of Me has finished P8. Ahead of JJ, who's finished P9. And Radadai is in P10. You see Notabene in P7. Gomesto's in P6. I think we'll be quite happy with that as well, to be honest. And that will be as things are. Gomestos takes that flag in P6. Notabene into P7. I don't think... Yeah, we have no penalties, okay. Fastest lap goes to... Oh, Domska, you see, he tried something. But it wasn't fast enough, actually. Marcus is still faster. And it is Marcus with 26 points, actually. Closing that gap to Randers. Not to 6, but to 5. Little details like that can absolutely change the way the season ends. We will send these results through my little system as my computer crunches hard with these numbers. And there we go. We have... Oh, that's a very spicy standings. I can't wait to show them to you. We're going to save this replay. I need to take a picture for the thumbnail later. There we go. And we shall move on to the post-race view now. Yeah, what happens? Well, I will tell you what happened. We have a new championship leader. And it is not over. Because the top 4 is so close. Not extremely. I make it sound like it's 1 point. But look at that. Randers at 93. Domska at 82. Instead of the gap from 1 to 2 being 11 points, it's now the gap from 1 to 4th place being 11 points. Marcus is within a win distance. If he wins a race, he's ahead of Randers. That's the next race. Decra will come back stronger. If he wins 2 races, that's him in the lead of the championship. Domska will need a little bit more, but that is absolutely doable. 11 points in 3 races? Absolutely doable. Especially when it's full people fighting for that championship. This is absolutely not fought. Yeah, super exciting. Gerald Smith is in P5. And now Michael has prided himself in between the Benettons. 39 points in the championship. I think we'll be quite excited to hear that if he is there for an interview. We've got Dustin, Gomestos, Sorrow, 18 points in the championship right now, P9. Silver in P10. Cavalo in P11. Difference, of course, by countback. And Notabene in P12 with 10 points. So the entire top 12 now has double digits. We'll go to the next page. We've got JJ, 9 points, P13. Honor of Me and Daniel Gilliam are tied with 5. Apex and Jedlin are tied with 3, as well as Radadai. Difference, of course, again, count back. We've got Das in P19. 2 points. The rest hasn't scored a point yet, but for Ditto, I think it's a matter of time. We'll have 20 point finishers. That will be great. Team standings. This is the table where I don't know what's going to happen. Red Bull now has the lead because Marcus, of course, and Michael, they're both doing a phenomenal job. 127 for the Red Bull team. Williams in second with 105. 40, the team of Domska in P3, 103. And the Ferrari team of Dikra and Cavallor didn't score any points today, but they are still at 96. Again, anything can happen there. Benetton Renault in 76 points. Honestly, they also have an opportunity to pass Ferrari if they have a very good couple of races. Today was not that, scoring only a point. And then we got Tyrrell Yamaha, McLaren Mercedes, Minardi, Jordan Peugeot, DJ McLaren, and the Lotus team scoring their first points today. Ride or Die has brought it home. Every team is on the board now. Very nice job, Ride or Die. It almost passed me, but yeah, everybody has points now. Very happy to see that. Okay, so what do we do with this? Well, we are going to have interviews. We'll probably... Oh, let's see. I pressed the button I shouldn't have. Oh, it's fine. Okay. We will probably have a small break of, let's say 10 minutes. Or like, what is it? It's now 8:42. We'll start at 8:50 with a couple of interviews. And I've got like a little timer. So, enjoy the music while I get some people. And we'll see you in a bit. Alright, welcome back everyone. We'll hide the standings. And we will very quickly go through the race with some of the drivers. Starting, of course, with, as always, the winner of the race. We're going to invite Marcus up to speak. Hello, Marcus. Congratulations on your win. How do you feel after that?
Hello, Findic. Thank you. I'm happy, but it was really a roller coaster the whole weekend. I was go-karting in real life and was so sore, and yeah, I made it in time. I had practice with my teammate Michael, which I'm very, very happy that he finally made it on the podium, even more so than for my win. And I don't know how much time we have because there's so much to tell.
Start at the beginning and talk us through it. I noticed that at the start it looked like it wasn't going to be a race.
Yes, because of the strategy. But before that I had problems. In qualifying I had no wheels, so the wheels were invisible. So I had to restart the game, then it was working again, but it somehow got me out of the rhythm and I was 4/10 slower than in the practice server. So I had the pace to be on pole, but I didn't make it. So congrats to the two guys ahead of me. And this is bad for my strategy because I was doing a two-stop like everyone else, but I was starting with a higher fuel load and with the hard tire. And the hard tire is so difficult to get to temperature. In the first 3 laps, you lose a lot of time, but then it's fine. And the goal was to stay ahead, stay behind the leading train because slipstream is very important on this track. But Zoro was very fast, Dustin was fast, who got a setup from me. And yeah, I was behind those guys. And then I noticed another problem. On the practice server with Michael, we had a different weather setting. And it turns out that my cooling was set too low. So when I was in slipstream, I had way too high motor temperature, engine temperature. So I couldn't be in slipstream for too long, otherwise my engine would blow up. So when I was behind Zoro and Dustin and Michael, I had to fall back and wait till they pit because otherwise my race was over already. Then I had with the overcut, I could drive freely, but then I had another issue. I don't know if it was a driver error or the issue, which I'm now mentioning, is that my wheel for a split second goes to the full lock to the left, and then it goes like I'm steering really again. So I almost spun. I had a half spin, cost me a few seconds or 2 seconds. And in the next lap, I had the same issue, but not that bad. And then I resetted everything, got my mind straight, head down, and just pushed like hell. And then I had clean air. And because of the overcut, I had to use way less fuel for the next 2 stops. So I knew that I was 3 seconds behind Domschka, but I knew that I would overcut him in the last stop. And I almost made it to the slipstream von Randers after the last stop. But because I had fresher tires, I was able to catch him. And then we had a nice battle. Again, I couldn't stay too long in the slipstream, but I forced him into an arrow at the bus stop chicane, which is very hard because I drove to the outside, so he had to defend on the inside and just brake a little bit too late. And from then on, he was able to stay behind me very close. I almost lost it in the last lap because I locked the rears a bit in the lassos in the first corner and forgot to shift down to the first gear, so I had way less exit speed. So he almost made it at the top of the hill to catch me again. And yeah, then, like I said at the beginning, I'm very happy for my teammate Michael. We put so much work into the last few races, and finally it is paying off.
Yeah, really exciting for you to we'll be on the podium together then, and yeah, congratulations to Michael as well. Of course, not even in there for an interview yet, but hopefully we'll catch him in a bit. Yeah, thank you for talking me through that. Very interesting, all of that. Yeah. Currently in the standings, have a guess at where you are.
Maybe second behind Renders.
Correct. You are indeed second place with 88 points, 5 points behind you and Randers. I think this championship is fully on between you two and Domska and Dieker as well.
Yeah, it's a shame that Dekra had to miss this race. He was quick on Wednesday at the practice race, so he would have definitely been in the fight. And yeah, it's a shame if he loses the championship because of that. But I think my pace and strategy was strong. So yeah, let's see how the next races will pan out. Monza, I'm really fast, but it's again such a slipstream track like Hockenheim. So we will see who will end up at the front there. And then, yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the season. It's going to be interesting either way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been such a great race and a great win for you as well. Thank you so much. And we'll move on to the next person.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who is, of course, our second place finisher and the brand new championship leader. Hello, Randers. How are you doing?
Hello, Benedict. Could be worse, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Talk us through the race first, and then we'll talk about the championship for you. But yeah, race for you seems very much under control until the end. What happened?
Yeah, I was surprised by my pole position in the first place because the time Marcus drove in practice, I didn't expect to beat, but somehow he couldn't get up to that in qualifying, so I finished on pole position. Got a good start, and from then Domschka and I were kind of managing it there in front. We didn't want to lose time with doing battles, so it was kind of a non-aggression agreement that we had. Then the pit stop happened, and due to the overcut, I gained a few seconds on Domschka. And also, I think he kind of missed the pit entry, but I'm not sure. Somehow, when exiting the pits, I forgot to turn off the pit limiter. So I lost some drive there for the straight. And yeah, after that, I had a gap to Domschka and to Marcus. And I was thinking, okay, if I can keep it like that, this is going to be possible to win this. And maybe I was a bit too relaxed then. So relaxed that I somehow forgot to stop. But because Domschka talked about pitting, I remembered that my fuel was running out. So I was pitting in lap 18. And at that pit stop, I forgot to turn off the limiter for the second time, which cost me, I think, 1.5 seconds. And then, somehow a wild Marcus appeared in the high grass. So after exiting the pits, and he was directly behind me, and I knew he would be quick because he had fresher tires, and he is Marcus, and Marcus is at the moment the quickest driver in race pace. So yeah, I knew it would be difficult. Then in the chicane, I outbraked myself because he put a lot of pressure on me, and I had to leave him through. Everything else would have been against the rules, I think. And with the slipstream and my good top speed, I could somehow keep up with him, but it was always a bit too far away to get position back. I think he was quicker, but the slipstream helped me to stay with him. And in the final lap, I got close again, but it just wasn't enough. Just maybe a few meters or one more lap, and I maybe would have gotten him. But overall, I think he's the deserved winner today because that race pace again and strategy was really impressive.
Yeah, for sure. But of course, P2, nothing to sneeze at, especially given your good position in the championship. And after, of course, you won last race, you were second already. And with Dieter not joining today, unfortunately, you do gain the championship lead. How do you feel about that fact?
I feel like I'm the worst championship leader ever because in terms of race pace, I think I'm just fourth fastest. But somehow by consistency, just getting the points here and there, I could manage to be in a good position right now. So it feels weird to be first in the championship because I don't really feel that I'm the quickest driver out there. But let's see what happens next. I think there are 3 races more to go. Correct?
That's correct.
So everything's possible. Thinking from race to race, and maybe I can have a shot.
Yeah, you do have very strong competition. The entire top 4 is still very much in it. But, some good preparation. You got every opportunity. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, talking me through everything. And good luck for preparing for the next race next week.
Thank you, and bye.
And for the last spot on the podium, well, it is not one of those top 4 drivers that are fighting for the championship. It is, in fact, someone I don't know if he's ever been on a podium who's going to tell me. It's Michael. Hello.
Hello.
Is that your first podium in SSR?
It's my first podium in the Grand Prix Classics, yes.
Well, congratulations. Very good job today. Talk us through it. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I feel good, but a little bit mixed emotions. Some fast driver couldn't make it to the race. Dustin was crashed out, so yeah, some people was not there to fight with me, and I did some mistakes. I don't had a good first stint. It was a little bit mixed. Bit lucky. Domschka crashed. He spun, so he had to pit again, and I was in front of him. And then in the last corner we collided, and he said, "Come on, drive." Yes, but it's nice to have the first podium. But yes,
Yeah,
very lucky.
It is a little lucky, but very well deserved. You were in that fourth place before Domschka pitted again, entirely on your own. You fought for that. You did a very, very good job.
Yeah, I gave everything I had. My pace was actually good for my standard. It was good, yes, and I was a little bit in the second stint behind Sorrow, and then I made a mistake and went on the curb too far and went out in the gravel. So I lost 4 or 5 seconds. And yes, I made an overcut because Sorrow was pitting that lap. And then I was in front of him and I could hold the position. He had very, very low wing, very low downforce, so he was unovertakeable on the straight. So, yes, but on race pace per lap, I was definitely faster. So I had a good gap after the second pit stop, and I could go away from him. Yes, so it was really good. Yes.
Yeah, very well done. Just catch a bunch of the fight. I think it also caused your mistake on the gravel, but nicely fought back there for sure. And the overcut seemed to be very strong this race, so nice job taking advantage of that. Yeah. Fun fact: after this race, you are sixth in the championship. You're actually, I think, ahead of Dustin by I think 3 points.
Okay.
Are you overachieving?
Please, what?
Are you overachieving? Are you doing much better than you think you should be doing?
Yes, definitely. The last race was really good. We prepared a lot for Canada. And this race also not that much, but I had good amount of luck in this race to get there. But last race was really good. That was okay. But this race maybe, yeah. Some people are not there. That's the thing. But yes, I got it. This is how it is.
Yeah, count
So that's
regardless.
definitely better than expected.
Well, very nice job, and thank you so much for joining us for an interview.
Thank you.
And we will move on to, I think it will be the last interview for today. But also very important. I'm very curious to hear from this man who was involved in all of what we just heard, but didn't really pick up the marbles when he could. It's Domska. Hello.
Hi.
I'm very curious to hear, how do you feel about how it ended for you?
Yeah, I'm not very good. I'm not feeling very good because I think P2 or P3 was in this race, but I throw it away because in the first stint, like Render said, we managed the race. We wanted to get away from the pack and get a good gap for eventual for Marcos because we thought he could be on a different strategy, and he was on at the end. So we wanted to get a good gap and have a bit of a buffer for the last stint. That went quite well. Then I went to the pit, and because I didn't practice the pit entry, I lost 3 seconds because I didn't knew where to brake, and I braked far too early. I lost 3 seconds there. After that, the slipstream with Render, the slipstream was gone. I was out of the slipstream from Renders, and we had the same pace. He was quicker in sector 1 and sector 3, and I was quicker in the middle sector because he had very low downforce. Because of that, I thought maybe in the next stop or in the last stop, I could fuel my car less. I could fuel less fuel. What the fuck? What am I? What am I saying? I was thinking when I put less fuel in my car, I can get the gap down and maybe be in the slipstream again. That worked also not very good because I missed the slipstream about 7/10 or so. I think I was 1.5 behind after the pit stop, and I think when you are in that 0.7 or 0.8 window, you are having the slipstream. So I was very frustrated about that. Then Marcos overtook me because of his strategy. And at that point, I was hoping maybe they are fighting and I can profit or I can slip through when there's something wrong in front of us. But I also knew I had to manage my fuel because I have obviously less fuel in my car than the other two guys. Yeah, somewhere there I made a mistake. I spun around, I had damage, and then I pitted because of the fuel and because of my damage. Michael went through, and I tried to catch him in the last 3 laps that I had, and yeah, I was there in the last lap. I went for the move, It was quite a desperate move, but at least I tried. We had a collision. It was my fault because of that I let him through again, and he had a very deserved P3. So yeah, that was my race.
Yeah, well, a bit up and down then, but yeah, and in the end, is what it is. P4 still. You are currently, I believe, 11 points away from Randus, despite the fact that you're in P4 in the championship. Every chance still to win it, right?
I do think this championship is wide open because we 4 drivers have nearly the exact same pace. We have different strengths and weaknesses, of course, but in the end we level each other out quite a bit. But I also must say that I think it would be a shame if Dikra loses the title because he missed a race. That would be a shame. But it did make the championship a little bit more exciting, and I'm very excited how it plays out the next few races because Monza will be a slipstream galore. And the last 2 races will be a little bit more settled because the slipstream will not be so strong there. So let's see how that will play out. But I do think Monza will be a quite exciting race to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm very much looking forward to that race and honestly the rest of the season because so far it's been super interesting with 4 drivers all in contention to win it. And yeah, you're one of them.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and best of luck preparing for the next race.
Thank you. Then bye-bye.
And with him saying bye-bye, also bye-bye to the audience, because that was the last interview. It has been another great race. Let me quickly remove this, and let me show you the calendar. Of course, today was the Belgian Grand Prix. Next week, we are back in Italy on the Monza circuit, where we'll be continuing this incredible championship. Yeah. Put it in your calendar, Grand Prix Classic Season 7, Race 6, Italian Grand Prix. Next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to follow if you're on Twitch. Don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow this whole season. Watch back if you've missed things. I think all races bar one, and you're going to have to figure out yourself which one it is. All races were interesting, except for one. So, yeah, that's it. And of course, I do have to say big thanks to Michael for subscribing with Prime. It was in the interviews after his podium. He decides to give back to the community. Thank you very much. All right, that's enough of me. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, see you next week.